How to fix hostname not resolved to an IP address on site server. There are several possible causes and solutions for this problem, and I will try to explain them briefly. One common cause of this error is that your /etc/hosts file is not configured correctly. This file contains mappings of host names to IP addresses, and it is used by the operating system to resolve host names locally. If this file is missing, corrupted, or has incorrect entries, then the system will not be able to find the IP address of the host name you are trying to access. To fix this, you need to check the contents of your /etc/hosts file and make sure it has an entry for your host name and its corresponding IP address. You can use a text editor or a command line tool like Nano or Six to edit this file. For example, if your host name is srv.example.com, and its IP address is 192.168.1.100, then you should have an entry like this in your /etc/hosts file, srv.example.com, 192.168.1.100. You can also use the enslookup command to verify that your /etc/hosts file is working correctly. This command queries a DNS server and returns information about a host name and its IP address. To use enslookup, open a terminal window and type enslookup srv.example.com. You should see something like this: server, dns.example.com. Address, 192.168.1.1 non-authoritative answer, name, srv.example.com. Address, 192.168.1.100. If you see an error message like no answer or name, srv.example.com not found, then there may be a problem with your /etc/hosts file or your DNS server. Another possible cause of this error is that there is no DNS entry for your host name in the DNS zone file of your domain registrar or hosting provider. A DNS zone file contains information about all the domains under a certain domain name, such as their name servers, records, and subdomains. If there is no record for your host name in the zone file, then the system will not be able to find its IP address from any DNS server on the internet. To fix this, you need to contact your domain registrar or hosting provider and ask them to add in a record for your host name in their DNS zone file. And a record is a type of DNS record that maps a host name to an IPv4 address, such as 192.x.x.x. For example, if you want to access srv.example.com from outside your network using its public IP address, such as 203.x.x.x, then you need to have a record like this in the zone file, srv.example.com. In a203.x.x.x you can also use tools like enslookup or dig to verify that there isn't a record for your host name in their DNS zone file. A third possible cause of this error is that there are multiple name servers configured on your site server that are conflicting with each other or with other name servers on the internet. Name servers are computers that store and provide information about domain names and their IP addresses using protocols like DNS, Domain Name System. If there are multiple name servers configured on your site server that have different answers for the same host name, then the system will not be able to choose one of them as authoritative and will return an error message saying the host name could not be resolved in DNS. To fix this, you need to check which name servers are configured on your site server using commands like enslookup type equals ns hostname or dig plus short hostname. You should see only one name server listed as authoritative for that host name. If you see more than one name server listed as authoritative for that host name, then you need to change one of them back to its original value, usually provided by your domain registrar or hosting provider, or disable it altogether if it is not needed. If you want more information about how host files work, how enslookup works, how records work, how name servers work, how private name servers work, how cPanel works, or how Stack Overflow works, please Google